I think I have always wanted to be a mother, and one of the funny things about that was something that I was told about my mother, that she always wanted to be a mother. So there's something holy about that connection, knowing that that was something that she wanted and was kind of passed that down to me as well.
The moment knew I was having a little boy, I just wanted, I don't know, like I guess it's different with a love with a boy. Like you want him to be everything that you dream of, I guess somewhat in a man, but for other women to break generational curses from like other men, to step up to the plate and to be the best version of himself, honestly.
When I was 18 years old, I was diagnosed with endometriosis, and my doctor told me it would be a hard time conceiving. When I was 23 years old, I had my first child, and she was a whole shock because, the doctors told me I couldn't get pregnant. So to be able to have a baby, and experience a whole pregnancy was a joy.
He was a bubbly baby. That I can say that was the first person I've ever met that was so calm all the time. Like his spirit, his aura, like everything about him, like we needed each other. But even through I feel like my hardest storms, like he just always made me feel like everything was gonna be okay.
I thought that I was prepared. I thought I kind of knew everything that was going to happen. So leading up to that first pregnancy, I was overjoyed. I was happy. I was glowing. So at this point, it's probably around 34, 35 weeks. I had not been feeling well, and I told my husband, something feels off. I don't know what it is. I can't really put my finger on it. I wasn't in pain. I wasn't really experiencing anything that would alert me to go to the emergency room or call my doctor. The medical assistant took my vitals, and she said, you know what? Hold on for just a second. And I said, oh, okay. And the doctor comes in immediately. And I was like, oh no, something's not right. He says to me, so your blood pressure is elevated, and we think that you may be preeclamptic. And I'm thinking, what in the world is that?
We went to the hospital, and normally this hospital that I went to usually packed, and it wasn't. When I came in on this Wednesday afternoon, they had enough time to triage me and wait for a doctor. And me being a minority, a black woman, a black young woman, who's just starting out having a new pregnancy, they don't tell you everything that happens just in case it will go wrong. At 1:20, I want to say 1:51 that afternoon, I gave birth to her and she wasn't crying. I ended up losing her.
Everything was good up until that point. October 27th, we were getting ready for bed, and I had placed him in the bed, and we had left the room for a few moments, and then we came back into the room he was face down, unconscious, yeah. We went to the hospital, and when we got to the hospital, we were there for a week. The first doctor that we saw as soon as we came in was like, he's a vegetable, you might as well take him off the ventilator. In the moment, I was in shock. I had heard about CIS, but it was never close enough to home where I felt like I needed to know more about it. I was scared, and so I really didn't know what decision to make or how to even make a decision for something like that, let alone for my son. I was lost. Like, it's nothing like your firstborn, and then to lose your firstborn. I'm sorry. And you gotta keep going. And it's no help. So like, I'm really fighting for myself.
We went from having a normal-ish induction to the beeping goes off. The next thing you know, everybody comes in the room, the lights go on. They're like, sign here, sign here, sign here. And I'm like, what's going on? Drink this, what's going on? We have to have an emergency C-section. To get my son out, they just start. They pull the curtain up, and I'm thinking, wait, where's my husband? But at the same time, I'm also thinking, I feel people poking me. I feel pain. And again, I say, I'm sorry, I feel something. And again, I was dismissed. I was ignored. And I'm like, okay. Then all of a sudden, this hot, searing, burning sensation I feel at the base of my abdomen. And all I could do was scream. I heard my own scream, and it scared me. After I've repeatedly said over and over and over, I feel something. And I reached out and I grabbed a hold of somebody's scrubs or something. And then all of a sudden, everything stops.
What is happening in healthcare concerning pregnant women, because we don't know what is happening to what is going on in our body, and we are often ignored. We're told to, hey, this is normal, or this is just part of pregnancy, when in actuality it's a concern that we need to start looking into this.
I honestly don't feel like a lot of hospitals have enough information themselves on sis, because probably none of them have been through it. The day that they took him off of the ventilator, like I literally just went home. Like, it wasn't like any follow-ups, it wasn't any checkups, it wasn't like, hey, here's a counselor. Like, I literally had to figure it out on my own. And thank God that I have the support system that I do with my family and my friends. But what about the girls that don't? Like, I wanted to give up even with my support. So if you don't have any support, like, why not give up?
Now here I am in this operating room, completely isolated. And at some point the room went dark. So I'm assuming that they just knocked me out. And I woke up, who knows how many hours later, and I was in recovery, and I hadn't heard my son being born. I didn't hear him cry. I was completely unaware of what was going on. No one in that room took me seriously. No one in that room cared enough to help me along the journey.
One of the ways that I got through it was writing and praying and having people to rally around me and support me in those moments. And don't allow anyone to make you feel like you don't matter and that you have to rush your grief.
We're blessed already to be women. And I feel like whether you can have a child or not, all of us have a mother nature in some area of our life. To give birth, though, that's like a gift that's unimaginable. Like, you grow life. Not only do we grow life, we push life into this world, and then we're supposed to raise that life.
I know that my story could have ended much differently, and I know that it often ends in tragedy for so many other women who look like me. So I always feel the joy, but the sorrow of the fact that I experienced what I experienced, And also, I feel a little bit of survivor's guilt, honestly, because I know that that situation could have turned out differently. I'm grateful that my son is healthy, that I'm healthy.
After every storm is a rainbow.
But just the thought of bringing another life into the world was the most exciting thing ever.